Hi and welcome to SheinCuisine. Today we're going to try and do a nice smoker dish. Actually two. We're going to do salmon and we're going to do a pork butt. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll prepare the salmon. It's got to soak in brine for 2 hours. So we'll start that right away. We have 2 nice pieces of salmon like that. Chunky. And we're just going to put some salt. Into a dish. Add some water to that. And we want enough water to cover the salmon. Let's see if that's enough. Oh, beautiful piece of salmon. We're going to run both of these in the smoker at the same time, the pork butt and the salmon. Salmon will most likely be done beforehand, before the pork. And they both cook around the same temperature. It's going to be around 200, 205 in the smoker. I'm running a brand new smoker. I got it for Christmas for my wife. And we're going to see how it turns out. It seems like it's going to be much easier than trying to keep a charcoal smoker going. And I'll show you some photos of the charcoal smoker in a bit as well. So next we're going to prep the pork butt while the salmon steaks are sitting in the brine for 2 hours. We are ready now to prepare the pork butt. First thing is to help in the cleanup is to take the grills and just lightly coat them quickly with vegetable spray. Probably got more on the cutting board than anywhere else, but anyways, that's good. Just enough so it doesn't stick. We've got a beautiful pork butt here. Just gorgeous. Fat cap and everything. It's nice. First thing we're going to do is we're going to be using a store-bought rub this time. I just don't have the time today to try and turn it into everything homemade type of deal. Normally I would just take whatever spices I have in the kitchen and just put them in a bowl and rub them all over this thing. But today we're just going to use a store-bought spice. Who knows? It may be too much, it may be not enough. We'll find out soon enough. I like things spicy hot anyway. So, in the past I've just done pork butts in the smoker by rubbing spices, my spice mix, all over the outside, and it tends to fall all over the place. Then I found out, off the internet of course, that you need to use a gluing bonding agent of some kind. And in this case, everybody seems to be okay with using yellow mustard, and the yellow mustard simply makes things stick to it and adds no flavor at all once this is done in the smoker. This is probably going to take 10, 11 hours in the smoker. We'll see. So anyways, we're going to rub mustard all over it. Pick this up one-handed. That's a big chunk of meat. And I'll take you out and show you some pictures of the smoker as well, and the setup that I'm running now, and I'll show you the setup I was running, and you'll see why I'm so excited about getting a new smoker. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now we're ready to put the first layer of spice rub on. This one looks like it might be a tad on the spicy side, but we'll find out. Pour it on, pat it in, try and get it to stick. And rub it all over. Flip this baby again. And you're trying to get it to stick everywhere. Vertical surfaces are going to be tough, of course, but you do your best. So once this is done and all rubbed in, we let it just sit for a minute, just so it all the moisture gets absorbed. While we're just letting the pork butt just sit for a second with the dry rub on it, just so it soaks it in a bit, we're going to talk about what we're going to do to smoke it. We're going to smoke it with apple and probably cherry woods. And another trick I saw on the internet is to take concentrated apple juice, frozen apple juice. We're going to let it thaw out so it becomes a liquid, and then we're going to put it into a spray bottle, and we're going to use that mixture to keep the pork butt moist, the outside surface moist, while we're smoking it, because it's going to be in there a long time. Of course, when you run the smoker, you're going to have water in the smoker as well, and wood chips as well. So it's about time. We're going to take the next step now is just to add a crust to the outside of this, and to do that we've got just brown sugar and paprika. We're just going to mix it together. And get the little lumps out, and then we're just going to cake it on top. We're going to do all sides of it. What the heck? We've got a lot of this mixture available. Flip this over to the other side. The top will fall off, of course, a bit, but I'm not too worried. This will add a bit of a sweet component to the spicy that's already there. We're going to cook this with a meat probe. We're going to wait for an internal temperature, probably around 195. Meat probe's not going to go in right away because there's no point. This thing's stone cold right now. And I'm prepping this on the actual rack that's going to go into the smoker as well. So, and there we have it. So that's ready to go into the smoker now. Stay tuned.
The salmon sat in the brine solution for a little over an hour. Actually, didn't need to go in that long, but anyways, 20 minutes minimum. Take it out, rinse it with a bit of cold water, put it on a rack, pat it dry. We're going to let it sit and air dry now for 2 hours. We've let the salmon steaks air dry, and now we're going to make a topping, something that we're going to put on top of it. That's quite a dry rub. We're going to grind the zest of a couple of limes. It's probably an easier way to do this, but we sort of got it done. Take the juice from 2 limes. So 1.5 is going to be enough. We'll save the other half lime for the next step. It'll be more of a finishing step. Add a bit of salt. And a bit of pepper. Some random spice, whatever you have around. I'm throwing in a bit of rosemary and a bit of basil. And a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. Looks good. I'll show you what we've done to the salmon.
after they've sat and air dried. They're now a bit on the tacky side on the outside. Put them skin side down on a piece of tin foil. Tin foil is cut about a 1/4 inch larger than the salmon. That's to stop them from sticking and making a mess on the grill once it's in the smoker. I think we've got more than enough of this mixture. And there's a bit of cooking oil spray on the grills as well, just to help them clean up anything that might drip. So these are going in about 2 hours after maybe 2.5 hours after the pork butt went in. So they're gonna, I'm hoping they'll be done sooner. We're gonna keep an eye on these with a meat probe. Okay, that looks pretty good. And when the meat probe is going to go in, it's going to go into the thickest part of the salmon, which will be there. I'm going to stick it in once I thread this through my smoker. Stay tuned. Well, we stepped outside for just a minute or two. I want to show you what an old smoker looks like compared to a new smoker. And there's just a shot of our fish pond. And our fish love the pond heater. Normally in cold weather you don't see them at all, but now they all sort of huddle around that little heater. Anyways, back to the smoker. This is what a smoker looks like, a cheap one. This is a charcoal one, where you lift the various rings off, and you put the charcoal and the water in the bottom, and you have to continually mind it and make sure everything's going okay. It does the job. The pros, it's cheap. These are about maybe $100. The cons, you have to load it with charcoal, and one load of charcoal will probably go about 3 or 4 hours. So you're tending this thing all day long. The other thing is it's almost impossible to maintain a consistent temperature in this thing. All you have available to you are the vents on top and the various doors that you have here. Open and shut these, and as you do that in various combinations, the temperature goes up or plummets like a stone. Not my cup of tea, really, but it did the trick. This one probably lasted, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years. It's in pretty rough shape. It's ready to be recycled into something else. Anyways, let's take a look at what a modern day one looks like. And there's our dog hunter saying that he needs to come outside and look at the smoker as well, but he's a big dog and he knocks things down, so he's going to stay in there for now until we're finished doing our little shoot here. So on to the new unit. We've got an electric smoker this time. It looks almost like a dishwasher, but it's not, and it has a nice digital display up here, and you can see it's counting down 9 hours and a bit, and it's running at 208. I think I set the thermostat for 205. So what it does, it climbs and then it turns off. Right now the little heating LED is off, which indicates that it's not running burner wise at this point in time. Once it drops below 205, 204, the burner will come back on. And we'll open this up in a second. It also has a really nice attachment on the side. And that's that little box on the side, which houses enough wood chips and a separate burner to run about 6 hours. So you're not constantly trying to keep adding wood to this thing. Up on top, we have the little vent. You can throttle it up and down, control how much heat comes out of this thing. All in all, a very nice unit for the money. Looked online, it had no complaints. Down at the bottom, that little thing with the handle on it, that's the grease drip tray. You pull that out and any drippings will be found inside there. This pork butt's only been in, maybe an hour now, not even that. So we're going to open it up, take a quick look at it, just a quick
quickly because we don't want to lose too much heat. The more you open these up, the more you lose heat. One other thing I'll say is that compared to charcoal, anyways, the startup on this is pretty much just flip a switch, turn it on, preheat it, get it up to temperature, and you're ready to go. The cost of charcoal, and you'd be using hardwood charcoal, it cost me about whatever an 8 kilogram bag of charcoal would cost for an 8-10 hour smoke, which is your average smoke time. So you factor that into, and that's probably another $10-12 of charcoal alone, plus the muss and fuss and the mess and everything goes along with it. On the side, a nice little latch, so the door has a seal on it. The outside, the exterior of this, stays completely cool as well. Open it up inside. See, it's starting to do a little bit of drip action now. Has lots of room for trays. So I'm going to put the salmon in next. It'll go on top. And it's got a little water tray and an area to catch all the drippings as well. So we'll close that back up. And there you have it. It's a red head. I think it's a 30-inch model. Got it from Bass Pro. Pretty nice unit, all in all. I think it's going to do a good job. And the recipe calls for an internal temperature of 140. So we've got it at about 142 now. And it's still smoking like a son of a gun, which is good. We're going to pop this open. See what's going on inside. Oh, and it's looking good inside there. So that's the setup now. The salmon's on top. It's pretty much done. And the pork butt is in there. And it's still going. So what we're going to do is we're going to give the pork butt, while we got the door open, because you don't want to keep opening and closing the door too much. You lose a lot of heat. We're just going to give it a spritz with the apple juice. Keep it moist. And then we're going to pull the salmon out and check it out and see how it looks. But from what I can see, excuse the jerky film work, it looks pretty good. Alright, stay tuned. We're going to taste this next.